Hello, everyone, and welcome to another vintage versus classified figure reviews. This is a series I have where we compare our vintage counterpart to that of the classified counterpart. Of course, the figures that I do have in vintage form and classified form. So, I'm always on the lookout for vintage Joes that are already planned for classified or are already in the classified line. Obviously, I'm not going to get around to every single one just because every vintage figure has different prices and stuff. Some are more pricey than others. And even though I'm not like a 100% completionist regarding accessories for the vintage ones, some of them go for a lot even on their own. But with that being said, we do have the Televiper, and we will be only covering the Televiper as I don't have a flight pod for the vintage for my vintage collection, and I don't plan on getting one anytime soon. So just a Televiper for this video. And yeah, let's get right into it. In terms of accessories, I know these are pretty much the same for the Televiper for both of them. The vintage one did have its own backpack and as well as scanner gun. But there you can see the design. We don't get any paint there, but it's very similar, the antenna there, different buttons there. Although this one seems to have more of a screen there, but still very much the classified resembles the vintage counterpart very well. And I'm all here for it. We even have the little peg there to connect, the wired hose. So yeah, very cool. I love to see it. And then this is classified scanner with that hose. But yeah, I'll put a picture up to next to this just so you guys see that it is essentially the same. I guess you could call it the weapon, but classified is able to add a lot more detail to it as it is 6-inch scaled. Super detailed action figure line. And then we get to the figure themselves, and my background is very busy, so it tends to focus in and out, but classified did a good job with this one. From vintage to classified, the major difference here being they did give the classified a bit of an update with the black sleeves and neck there, and that is to resemble the sort of flight suit that you would use being airborne, being out in the sky. I guess if you get too high it can get a bit cold, so having those sleeves can add some form of protection. And that's where we also get a different head sculpt for the Televiper, which is meant to be a sort of pilot helmet for the flight pod. And then we do get an additional ethnicity or race head sculpt here with a black individual. And then I do have the white individual on here because the vintage one was the white individual. So I'll make the comparison with this head sculpt on. But yeah, those are the differences I see there. We give him the sleeves, we gave him a watch, and this other device on his forearm. But other than that, I think we pretty much stayed faithful to the original Televiper. So starting from the bottom here, as we always do, we have the boots. And I don't know how well my camera's gonna pick that up, but this is a bit of a darker purple, and I wish that we would have gotten that darker purple for the classified. But you can see there, this is much brighter purple. And then we get, black boots, So yeah, different colors there for boots other than a all-out purple. We get the blue pants with 2 pouches. Although these are different colors, you know, they're in that same color as the boots for the vintage one. With classified, you know, they just left it the same color as the pants. So yeah, there's that minor difference. The belt here goes around all the way around, and then we do get a little Cobra silver logo there. But yeah, we have a black belt that goes all the way around, and here we kind of get that, but with some few updates. We do get the black, we do get the kind of circle design and the other 2 circles here, but no Cobra logo on there. We get a little kind of phone or iPod device there. We get 2 big pouches with the classified one, and then the belt continues onto the back, as you can see there. And he does have a separate one molded already onto the crotch piece there, but put this one over it, it's gonna cover that one up. Going up to the vest area, they added more to this one. I feel like they added this entire thing in between, and then you have the 2 buckles there, which we saw one with the vintage one. We see 1 buckle there holding all the vest together. I could go in here and cut everything out from this area, this in-between area, and this top area, and leave these 2 buckles, and that would look a bit more vintagey, but that's an option. If I had a 3rd one, maybe I would do it, but for now it doesn't really bother me. It doesn't restrict mobility or anything like that. But we do get the 2 big pouches there, just like the vintage one, and then we just get the cool patterning for the vest up there, and on the back the classified one went the extra mile and painted that black, which is very cool. And then the back, pretty flat and plain on this one. We get a bit more of those black stripes and some more detailing, wrinkles and all that stuff. When it comes to the arms, the shoulders, we do get those pouches here. So that stayed the same. Like I said, they added the sort of flight suit or undersuit to the classified to give them gloves with armor pieces on there. Give them some forearm devices. We give them a watch on the classified, and again we kept the Cobra logo on the shoulder. Again, this one's facing towards the front, so the Cobra logo would be here, but classified put it on the side. And then we do get the pouch there, same as vintage one. Finally, the head sculpts here. If you look, the expression is rather similar. We have him kind of grinning. Of course, classified can do that in a bit more detailed way, but even for something as small as this, that is incredible sculpt work. And you even have the painted teeth in there, so that is very cool. And the visors or glasses stayed the same, that silver paint, and just the overall design of the helmet stayed the same, as you can see there. Of course, classified painted this up a bit more, adding the black and purple there. Very cool, but yeah, still very reminiscent of the old vintage one. Some more details with this one. So yeah, very cool. I'm satisfied with the classified version. I think they did a phenomenal job with this release, and they kept the spirit of the old vintage one in this classified reiteration, and I couldn't be happier. Like I said in my review of this Viper, there's some of my favorite designed Vipers, especially with the purple and blue colors. I think that really stands out, and that's why they're some of my favorite, that purple color. With that being said, that's gonna do it for this video. Hopefully it was quick and to the point. I tend to ramble on and on different things, but that should conclude this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in a future video. Welcome everyone to some bonus footage. Today I have some Ninja 4s from Springer Collectibles on the Whatnot app. He does live streams there, and they're very fun and entertaining. And sorry about that, I'm dying. But he's very fun streamer on there and seller. And you can get some pretty good deals from there, so make sure to check them out. I think I'll have a link in the description. And yeah, so we managed to get 2 from this seller, and this one being Banzai, I think, if I remember right, from the Ninja Force subset or whatever you want to call it. No real articulation with these guys in the waist. The rest is pretty much vintage G.I.Joe articulation. But yeah, there's Banzai. Very interesting colors to have and see. But yeah, we do get that kind of cloth material for his bandana there. So yeah, very cool little guy to have. Then Nunchuck here, which already is coming to Classified. And yeah, I'm excited for that release, and it's cool to have his vintage counterpart here. He is very loose, and unfortunately these are very hard to fix because they are Ninja Force. We don't have that screw on the back, so once that O-ring inside pretty much messes up, it's gonna be a bit tough to fix them up. But we did get the accessory with this one, this big old kind of machete sword thing, so that's very cool to have. And yeah, I'm happy to have him here. We do get the kind of cloth for the weird underneath thing he has, but yeah, very cool to have these. But wait, I have more, and this guy isn't gonna stand, so I'm gonna sit him down. But I do have some more things to show off. I met up with this, local, I guess it's local for me, they're about an hour away, but, that's the nearest thing I have to a city and civilization. But I did meet up with someone who lives, nearby, in exchange for a few games and whatnot. He threw in this as part of his payment. He asked me, do you collect, vintage Joes? I was like, yeah, I do. And, he had these 2, which is, kind of odd. Why do I want these characters again? It just happens, I got these first, they were in auction, and I got them for pretty cheap, I think $5 each. And then, this seller threw in these as a bonus, as a trade offer. And I was like, yeah, I'll take them, why not? I will say this nunchuck is in better condition in terms of O-ring. He's not as wobbly, so that's pretty cool. And he does have his feature still, kind of a karate action chop there. And this Banzai figure, I'm not sure what his feature is because he doesn't have a spring-loaded arm, so I'm not sure. But yeah, this one's in a bit worse condition. He scratched up a bit, so definitely keeping this one. And I'll definitely be keeping this one since he does have his action feature, which this one does too, as you can see there. But he is very wobbly. And like I said, it's kind of difficult to fix these Action Force ones. But yeah, I have 2 of these guys. And he also threw in Scarlet. I believe this is version 2 or 3. I'm not sure. But yeah, the costume design it's very cool once you see it, in the comics and stuff, but for some reason the design they went for here is completely different to that of, the vintage Joes and what we know of vintage. They really limited her leg movement by having them, just go up and down. They removed the waistband here, the O-ring system for some reason. But yeah, very cool to have the Scarlet. I think she looks great, and the paint is overall very great. You have different details here. You have two kunai knives, or whatever you want to call those. You have some more cloth and an actual, hair strand there. But yeah, very good to have it nonetheless. She is a little loose on the legs, but still happy to have it. But yeah, that does it for vintage pickups and all that stuff. And you guys stay tuned as I got more classified figures arriving, which means I think I'll have the vintage counterparts for those figures. So yeah, keep an eye out for those figure reviews and vintage versus classified comparisons. But yeah, that does it for bonus footage. A bit long than I expected this to be, but those are the pickups. Thank you guys for watching.